r/AskReddit. What's the creepiest thing that happened on internet and is still available to see? I've heard of this site dedicated to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which, upon first glance, looks fairly normal. Active site with frequent posts. Upon close inspection, however, you'll find that there is only one user replying to herself over and over again. Edit 2, removed edit 1. Didn't it turn out that cracked blew that one way out of proportion? Like a cursory drop by would show the board was just slow, not thriving. And they cherry-picked a screenshot that made it look like one chick just endlessly posting. Like, there's thousands of subs right here on Reddit with only 1 or 2 posters. And lots of subs where authors from writing prompts will post all 5,063 parts of their latest high concept dystopian sci-fi story, and they're the only ones able to post. Yep. Cracked made it look like it was one psycho just muttering endlessly to herself. But it was cracked readers who made it worse. They flooded it with the usual ascendant internet bullet like goats, and she shut it down. It was basically just a pre-Tumblr fandom news tracker. Not a discussion board at all. But humans just can't resist the opportunity to ruin someone else's day. There've been a few incidents on 4chan where a murder/shooting was announced beforehand. And at least one thread where a get was rewarded with coordinates that lead to the body of missing girl. Screen caps are floating around out there. Can't find them on mobile. Basically just historical/b/shenanigans in general. Though, 4chan corpse coordinates happened 2 times. Actually, one of the victims was named Emily Sander. She was killed and dumped east of El Dorado, Kansas, I believe. The perpetrator's name was Israel Miles. Then the other time that happened, the victim was an Asian girl. I don't remember her name. But I do remember that she was Asian. And that it happened in either the US or the UK. The guy who strangled his girlfriend was Michael David Kalloch. Bud Dwyer's live suicide. I remember watching this years ago and it messed me up. Fast forward this summer. I responded to a call about a guy with a gun in the woods. This guy waited until he heard the sirens, then blew his brains out. Much in a similar fashion. When we found him, the blood was still coming out of his nose like in the video. Body still twitching. Made a few gurgles as the life left his body. Didn't faze me one bit. Others had to walk away, and I'm thinking, how ducked up am I? Then I started eating my granola bar while I waited for the meat to show up. Edit. The whole story is the guy planned the suicide out pretty damn meticulously. So it all started with the 911 call from him on his cell phone saying that there was a man in the woods with a handgun. He was last seen by a tree with a gold ribbon around it. PDBTW for people that asked. We rush over to the area the caller described, which is pretty large. As we start getting close to a dead-end street, we hear a gunshot. So now adrenaline is rushing. Worst fear is that this is an ambush. Me and 2 other guys start making our way to where the gunfire came from when my one partner says he sees the gold ribbon. I get a little closer and see sneakers near the base of the tree. A little closer and see that it's a person. Once it's pretty obvious this guy isn't moving, we went over to him. So this dude had laid down at the base of the tree with a tarp underneath him and put a metal box behind his head to catch his brains and the bullet. He had wrapped a chain around the tree and through the trigger guard of the gun. Next to him was his cell phone with 911 as the last number dialed. And a laminated note that read, "I'm sorry to the first responders for putting you through this. I did it here so I wouldn't alarm anyone. I chained the gun so a passerby wouldn't take it. You will find all my information in a pouch taped to my chest." The thing that actually bothered me was all the thought the guy put into his suicide. P.S. It was a peanut butter granola bar, you heathens. PPS username has to do with a jackhammer incident. What flavor granola bar? One where some guy was playing a game upstairs with noise cancelling headphones on, then took them off and heard someone threatening his wife. Turns out the guy was raping his wife downstairs while his daughter was sat crying on the floor while he was upstairs playing video games. Creepy as duck. I believe that was from the "Have you ever killed someone in self-defense" thread or something to that effect. He killed that dude. And I mean, who wouldn't? Link. I'm surprised the audio tapes of Jonestown isn't here. I guess it isn't that creepy anymore, and that's creepy in its own right. He says while children scream in the background. I don't care how many screams you hear. I don't care how many anguished cries. Death is a million times preferable to 10 more days of this life. If you knew what was ahead of you, you would gladly be stepping over tonight. Adults, I call on you to quit telling your children they're dying. I call on you to stop this nonsense. Just horrific. Links I'm never clicking. It, purple links. Sorry for asking, but what does it mean? I realize I'm asking in the wrong place and in sorry. I remember seeing a video a long time ago that showed a man who killed another man with an ice pick on camera and proceeded to have sexual intercourse with the body. I remember how that video changed me. I'm not even going to link it because I'm not going to look that it up again, but if you are really willing to stomach some graphic it, I think it's called One Man, One Ice Pick. Edit, after waking up to this inbox. It was indeed called One Lunatic. One Ice Pick. Edit 2, yes he does eat the body as well. I'm pretty sure I didn't watch the whole thing because it felt like my stomach was turning inside out. Luca Rocco Magnotta is the killer on this one. If you're into Creepiest, I recommend you read that story and how he also sent pieces of the body by mail. Luca Rocco Magnotta is a Canadian murderer convicted of killing and dismembering Lin Jun, a Chinese international student, before mailing Lin Jun's limbs to elementary schools and federal political party offices. This act gained international notoriety after a video depicting the murder was posted online in May 2012. Magnotta fled Canada, becoming the subject of an Interpol red notice and prompting an international manhunt. He was apprehended at an internet cafe in Berlin while reading news about himself in June 2012. After 8 days of deliberations, a jury convicted him of first-degree murder on December 23, 2014. I just recall hearing this news at the time. Not ever going to watch that video though. Elliot Rogers' YouTube channel is still up. I go there sometimes. I watched the documentary about him where his father speaks up. The creepiest part, for me anyways, was that Elliot came from a very good and wealthy family. It's hard to pinpoint where it went wrong, other than the fact that he felt lonely around all those glamorous people his parents knew or worked with in showbiz. It scares me because I don't want to miss any signs when I have kids. It wasn't very obvious with Elliot. I mean, you can't really think, oh my god, my son is a bit of a weirdo. He's gonna shoot up some people. The reason behind his shooting was beautiful girls and ex. The hatred for beautiful people came from his lonely days with his family's friends and the ex. From not being able to get it himself. And for some weird reason, after he hit puberty, he was absolutely disgusted by ex. He was so exily frustrated that he ended up being repulsed by it. Weird. Huh. Source, Elliot to his father. I would recommend to go on YouTube and watch it. It's very interesting. He had long talks with his parents about his hatred for others and shame/sadness he had. He went to a therapist. He was in the hospital because he tried to fight the popular kids. His stepmother didn't give a duck. His father was always busy. He was odd and very outspoken about it. He told his best friend everything about how he felt. That friend stopped seeing him because of it. You don't see killing others it coming, but everyone knew it would end some way. And most likely not in a good way. There was a previous creepy pictures thread where some people were hiking and taking pictures and they took a pic of their friend but didn't notice a dead hiker from earlier in the day in the background of the picture. Can't seem to find it. She was rescued with the other person and lived, I believe. There were 2 people that fell down. The girl in the picture was alive and got rescued, but the other went off to find help but fell to his death since it was pitch black and hard to see. Edit, fixed info about the second person. I feel most people in this thread are conflating creepy with horrific. Murder and gore videos are not creepy. Yeah, creepy leaves you with a slightly unsettled/unnerved feeling for a while. Not OMG I want to burn my eyes out with bleach. The car/brick video still gives me pause. Not gonna go find it again because duck that noise. But a brick falls off the back of a truck at highway speeds. To predictable results. Armin was online posts looking for people to eat on the Cannibal Cafe. He worked for a RIT company that was swallowed. I don't know if you say it like that in English, by the company I'm working for. Some of them were at a grill party at his place and are still feeling weird thinking about it. Haha. Swallowed is perhaps especially appropriate in this case. The audio tapes of the killers who kept the trailer 4X and torture think it was called the Toybox. Very chilling stuff. The killer had pre-recorded audio that he played for his victims after he secured them in his trailer stirrups, explaining what he expected of them and the rules they were to follow. A long time ago I used to enjoy watching shows like Forensic Files. This guy's story was on one of these types of shows, and it was horrifying what he did to those women. I believe he had a girlfriend who lived with him and assisted him in his acts of depravity. The show showed the toy box the man had built and holy it. I couldn't believe it. Thankfully one girl escaped and the guy was arrested. Can I brighten your mood? Before that girl they drugged up another girl and let her go. She went to the police. Nobody believed her and nobody cared. They could have saved them. Edit. Did I say brighten your mood? I meant duck you up. My bad. Can't find the post. But there was a Reddit user who was in high school and got knocked out in the parking lot while he was unconscious. He continued his life in his head. He went on to meet the love of his life, raise a family and enjoy success. He details his life while he was knocked out with a sense of longing and sadness. Eventually he noticed a lamp that was two-dimensional. It bothered him for weeks until his wife and family left him. He realized that the reality he was experiencing was not real and began to go insane. Not long after, he woke up to the school officer carrying him to his car to take him to the hospital. He went to therapy for a long time. He dreams about his kids from the other life and wakes up crying and missing them constantly. It's fascinating, creepy and extremely depressing. But did he go back to the carpet store? You survived cancer and went back to the carpet store?